Welcome everyone to the seventh Saturday evening chat with G23. We got a guest here tonight, Carolina EDC. Welcome.
Thank you for the invite.
You're so welcome. So, one of my topics I was going to talk about tonight was California. They got pumped up with all this great news of, hey, yeah, now you can order ammo to your front door, or just go to the store and buy ammo without having to do a background check. Then the state turns around and says, hey, we would need a stay on this. And, the original presiding judge, Judge Benitez, said, nope, you're not going to get it. So California then turns around and says, hey, we need an emergency stay. And they petition the ninth court again and two other judges that are on the panel with Judge Benitez said, yeah, California, you get it, and you get it right now. Not, hey, we're going to wait a couple days or anything else like that. So,
Yeah, that's kind of crazy what's going on over there.
I'm going to welcome everybody. So, we had Midnight Range, who was first, and Demanding Entertainment. I think he's kind of at the wrong channel for that. Second, we got Gun Loving Grandpa in here. Then, uh, then we're followed up by New York Outcast and Mr. Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw. Mad Sexy's in the house. Mr. Keith Gregory. Welcome all. Anyone else that wants to jump on, there is a link in the chat, and I can post it again. Oops, wrong link. Welcome, Miss Mystic Guns. All you need is soap. No, we kind of need a little more than that. So, Mr. Carolina EDC, you want to kind of introduce yourself and what you do for some
Yeah,
of the people that may not know you?
yeah, I think pretty much some of the people already in there know who I am. But again, Carolina ADC Reviews. I'm from the good state of North Carolina. Mostly just do reviews on firearms, gears, whatever I get my hands on. I do pretty much reviews on. So, pretty normal guy. Just likes to go out and shoot. You know, backing up Second Amendment. Always trying to, stay free.
Yep. So we have that California situation that's going on. And then I'm going to share my screen for just a second. So here we've got 25 state attorney generals that are asking the Attorney General Barr and who else are they asking? Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to ban people from being able to download the files to print 3D guns. So these are Attorney General's attempt to censor the sharing of 3D print files. And the author was Bob Ferguson, Washington State Attorney General. How did I know that he was going to be there? So, trying to pull up the letter, but so there's 25 state attorneys, and of course, one of them happens to be the Oregon Attorney General. Why is this not letting me? So it says, Dear Attorney General Ferguson. Oh, this is their letter in regard. And it's. I'm not finding the. Should have had this all set up. Let's see if I click on take action. Of course. Okay, well, that's not working. But, so they're petitioning to have the federal government force everyone from not being able to get the 3D image file if you have a 3D printer. I don't know a whole lot of people that have 3D printers because they're kind of expensive right now still.
Yeah, they are kind of a little pricey. But it's a good investment, I guess you can say, if you're allowed or able to do something like that.
Yeah, Mad Sexy kind of has a good point. 3D printing isn't going to be worth much until you can print with metal. But, they do have like the concrete printing 3D printers. So I'm pretty sure there's probably a printer out there that you could be able to print with, like, infusing polymer and metal. So it's probably out there, but it's probably going to be a couple $1,000 minimum.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Ghost Tactical snuck in. Reading Mr. New York Outcast comment.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
mean, and I can kind of say something about that because me, as in different nationality, to become a citizen of the United States, you have to know all and everything: U.S. rights, your Constitution. You got to know, all your, you know, people that is in charge. So it's something you have to learn before you can pass that citizenship. And most of these people that are, in that position and are born and raised here and learn from it, they still don't know it.
Well, that's because it used to be taught in school, and then when they brought in, like, Common Core education and stuff, they've done away with a lot of, like, all the studying, all the teaching of history, or they've really changed what history is. So, how can you learn if things aren't being taught? It's like it took some middle school kids here in Oregon to fight with the state to get the Holocaust being taught back in history, for parts of World War II.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they don't teach anymore in school. Definitely don't teach a lot of stuff they used to.
I mean, how are the kids supposed to be able to read the actual Constitution if they can't even read in, writing, in cursive?
Yeah, that's the truth.
All of our founding documents and all the documents, all the way for a lot of things are still done in cursive,
Yeah.
So are they going to have everybody go in there and transcribe them so that, they can understand what it says?
I won't doubt it. They probably will do something like that.
But then, it comes down to, okay, well, if we're going to transcribe it, then how are you going to make sure that whoever's transcribing it is actually transcribing it word for word and not changing things and leaving parts out that they don't agree with?
True.
We'd get into perverting our Constitution, and that'd be a way that they could easily do away with the Second Amendment, is just, hey, it's not there.
I agree.
So, it takes us in the community, in the 2A community, to really educate, people on what the 2A is and what we truly stand for. We're not all hillbillies and stuff that want to see lots of people being shot. That's not what we want. We want to be able to defend ourselves, defend our family, if that would to, come to it. But we just like to be able to go and, interact with other 2A people and, still have a, relationship, be able to go out target shooting and stuff. It's nothing that we're saying, hey, we want to be able to go commit mass murder. That's absolutely what we don't want to see.
No, I agree with you on that one. I don't think that the government should have to tell us what to do and when to do it.
Yep. And really, unfortunately, that's where it's heading if we, if we're not paying too much attention. And unfortunately for like Mad Sexy, he's in Cali. He's in California. So, what kind of emotional roller coaster is he riding when all of a sudden he could go, he wasn't able to buy ammo without doing a background check. Now he was able to. And then 24 hours later, he's not able to again. And then we come across, okay, well, if he ordered ammo online, is he going to be able to get that? Or is that order going to be canceled? How's all that going to go about? Because, there's nothing in place to say how all this is going to happen.
Well, I think a lot of the manufacturers I've seen online, they're saying if they order by a certain time, they are allowed to get that order, but anything after that time frame, it will be canceled or will not be shipped.
Yeah, that's all good, and but some of those, Gestapo police that are down there, that, if you've seen some of the videos that happen, they'll go and enforce it and, make these people instant felons because of what the attorney general says. And, they're not even going to question if it's constitutional, not constitutional, if it was legal at the time, if it wasn't legal at the time. They're going to say, okay, We have a list of people. We're going to go knock on their door, or we're going to go kick in their door, and we're going to arrest them.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to say with everything changing so quickly. It's like you don't know which way to go, left or right, you know.
Yeah. Matt says that he's sad, happy, and confused. Probably all at the same time.
I think that's everybody right now with all this staying at home. Everybody's going crazy, I think.
Yes. Yeah. New York. They're, you know, why we call a lot of them snowflakes, you know, because it's our rights don't end at somebody else's feelings. You know, sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it's your rights are not more important than my, or your feelings are not more important than my rights. You know,
I think United States in the long run is going to be divided into two sooner or later in the future.
I don't know if it's going to be divided into two. Uh, Honestly, I see that we break out into, you know, another like Civil War, Revolutionary War, where we're fighting upon each other,
Yeah.
and that's going to be something that I would never want to see happen. But you know, if they keep pushing, there's going to be people that are going to step in, you know, fight back. You know,
Yeah.
because yeah,
Sooner or later it's going to become that. Hopefully it won't, but history can repeat itself.
yep. You know, the thing, like some of our great people in the past said, you know, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah,
So,
that's for sure. Hopefully it don't come to that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true, gun loving grandpa.
yeah, and it's not just in VA. You know, I mean, it's not being spoke as much about, but if you look at like Washington, you know, 1639 happened, and they've been pushing other gun laws that, you know, through back doors and stuff, and to be able to have a firearm in the state of Washington, you have to sign away your HIPAA rights, giving the state permission to be able to, you know, look at all your medical files.
Wow, didn't know that.
You know, and then you have to have training. Uh, what's it? Every 5 years, you have to go through training,
Just to be able to
and
have a firearm or to carry.
just to be able to, uh, like, be able to buy firearms, to be able to have your concealed weapons license, any of that. If you don't keep up with your training, then they can say, okay, you can't have any more firearms. No, I'm not 100% sure if that in there that they can come and take what you already have. I'm pretty sure if it's not there, if this stuff doesn't get overturned in court, they'll figure a way of putting it in there, you know, and backdooring it.
Hmm.
You know,
That's,
you
that's
have to
crazy.
get permission. You have to get permission to be. It's kind of like New York. You have to get permission to be able to buy a firearm. from your local, chief of police or your local sheriff's officer.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why do I have to get permission? And the FFLs in the state can't even run the NICS. Now they have to take the 4473 every day and turn them into either the local police department or sheriff's department, depending upon if you live in the city limits or if you're in county. And then they run the background, and then they inform, whatever FFL, yes, Joe Blow can have a firearm.
Wow.
Yeah. So, they've got some big problems up there in Washington, California. They've got horrible problems. We all know what's going on in California. And then, Virginia's following suit. And if they get their way, they're going to push that same thing into Texas, which is what they're going after in this November election, is to try flipping Texas, I think Tennessee, and a couple other states.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the gun laws where I'm from, the country I'm from. I'm from Panama. It's crazy what they need to go through there to get a firearm. Um, yeah, you have to have a relative that's well off financially. You got to have a bank account, be a legal resident, get a psychological evaluation, submit your gun for ballistic test, pee in a cup, get a finger prick blood test, and then give the permission for a background check. And it usually takes 3 to 6 months. But once you get the permit, you can carry conceal automatically. So you have to carry conceal. Um, you can own as many. There's any ammunition that is hollow point or piercing ammo, anything like that. It's not legal. You can have many, no fully automatic weapons at all. See what else. But yeah, that's pretty much the process. I think you are able to own any type of short barrel firearms. I don't think there's no restrictions on that.
Wow.
So yeah, you pretty much have to give your whole life to them.
Yeah, I think, Massachusetts is wanting to add psychological evaluations, or New York. New York is wanting to add psychological evaluations to their firearm. You have to be able to buy a firearm. You'll have to undergo a psychological evaluation and then get permission from, your sheriff or police officer to be able to go purchase a firearm like you normally do. So, yeah.
I think it's a little bit difficult over there because I think guns are very expensive over there as far as somebody to be able to own one. I don't think there's many ranges over there. I don't think there's many gun stores as it is here. Maybe a few, but it's not very well thing to do over there, I guess. I mean, other than the bad guys, I guess I'm assuming. But it's hard to get a firearm over there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a firearm over there because they've, well, let's clarify that. It's hard for law-abiding citizens to get a firearm over there because of all the laws that they've put into place. So yeah, not a whole lot of gunmen, not a whole lot of FFLs want to be there because they have to undergo so much strenuous, rigmarole. Here we got Mr. New York Outcast. He can help us out with what's going on in New York. Welcome, Mr. New York Outcast.
Hello, people. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
So you can kind of help us out with that New York issue on
A little bit
with the gun issues.
Yep. What's I heard a little bit there. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm kicking this compressor on. I'm gonna hit it and run. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, here it's pretty strict too, so that you got to give up everything. They want to know, pretty much what you ate last week, almost. Anything that has ever happened, they run through fingerprints separately, and they do it themselves here in my county. So they basically do fingerprints twice, make you pay for them. Mental background, all that, anything. They look into all that, plus also require 3 references. So basically, if they don't fill things out in a timely manner or give any indication that there's, they've ever had a concern about you or something like that, you're basically denied. They keep your money anyway.
Yeah, that's... Now, was it New York that was wanting to add psych evals as a prereq to being able to buy, any firearms? I don't remember if it was New York or Massachusetts that was wanting to do that.
Yeah, they did bring that up in New York. I'm not exactly sure where it's at, but I know they're requesting that they'd like to have it to where you can, every firearm you want to purchase, you had to pay out of your pocket to go get a mental evaluation to see if you were stable to get that firearm, even though you're already a legal firearm owner. So I think that's a bit ridiculous, obviously. And I think even some of the people here that kind of are anti-gun, or at least anti-gun for you, I think even them people, it's going to be kind of an issue. So hopefully it doesn't go over. It might have been already, kicked out or, movement on it, but I don't know.
Oh, Midnight Range's last comment. But yeah, I mean, I know Washington, because I have a bunch of family and friends up there still, and they're strong on trying to get the 1639 taken over, and overturned because of all the crap that's in there. And I'm really glad that I moved out when I moved out, because you have to violate so many of your rights just to be able to, keep your concealed weapons permit, or even to be able to go buy another firearm,
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous in some places. I know here they also had it to where you had to register with the state or you were going to become a felon, because the county departments said they weren't going to comply with something. I can't recall what it was. So the state ended up individually coming out stating that if pistol permit holders don't, give them the information they're asking for, then basically you're an instant felon. And hoping that was going to get overturned and dealt with at the time, but it came up to the point where it was down to 2 days, and unfortunately I had to do that before I ended up being the guy that got arrested.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, because how many of those systems get hacked? Or, somebody decides, hey, we're going to dox everybody because we just don't like, the Second Amendment. We don't agree with it.
Oh yeah, our information misused, stored in places for further use that might be approved at later times. I don't agree with any of that stuff personally.
FIO requests that then, it happened in California where some of the news the newspapers requested, with the FOIA request for all the information of the concealed weapon permit holders in California. They wanted all their information so they could publish it in their newspaper.
Yeah, that's crazy. That actually happened here near New York City. A reporter put out an article with a lot of people's information. And around New York City, a lot of those people were, judges and police officers. So it kind of really upset even their crowd, you could state. And they made it here where you could opt out, but you had to know about it and actually go in and do it. And you sign a paper and then they take you off like the general public records. So therefore, it can't happen again. So it kind of makes you a pretty big target. It's easier to steal a gun from an empty house when somebody goes to work or something. In some cases, and it is a gun store. So it's not something people were fond of, that's for sure. Plus, it also full names, the fire, because in New York, every handgun you buy in my county has to go on your permit. So I can't have your gun and get stopped or whatever, because if it's not on my permit, I'm a felon. So it's basically all your information and what models, everything.
So it makes it easier for somebody to red flag you falsely.
Yeah. I mean, you could state, oh, my neighbor has a F&N whatever, and then go Google an F&N and say, hey, he had this silver gun that looked like this, and now they can say you brandished a weapon or something. So in some cases, that's all it really takes. So I try to keep it low key, especially around my neighbors and everything, because it doesn't take much. So unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to be with, every state, if they have red flag laws, that allow, because you're going to have false reportings. They've already had false reportings.
That's very sad. Things going to come down to that.
I don't know if you guys have carry insurance.
I did until the state wouldn't allow me to have it anymore. I was with USCCA, which I'd highly recommend to a lot of people. If you're a military member or I believe law enforcement, first responder group, they do offer a discount as well. But basically, you can pick your attorney. And to me, that's a big thing. A lot of people would state they would rather just have somebody provided. But, if that could state, the company might just bump you out, not try, because then they don't have to pay for it if you lose, in a sense. So, it's better in a sense. You can pick your own attorney, do what you want. Money's available. They cover your hands, your fists, whatever's legal in your state. If you got attacked when you were changing a tire and beat somebody with a tire iron, that would be fine. So, it's covers civil and criminal. So I definitely recommend them. But some reason, if we could, I don't know if they've seen it as a safety net for us, because we have no castle doctrine, stand your ground, nothing like that here. So, that was your only hope, not to be sitting in jail hoping that, you can find an attorney and afford somebody, unless you've got around here on average over $100,000 for a case like that. So nationally, it's about 70,000. In areas like New York, California, it goes up quite a bit more. So, and I don't have that money sitting around. So, it was nice to pay I think I paid $26 a month or something, and I had over $1 million worth of insurance. So I had like your silver package on a discount. So
that was nice. Your spouse and your family members too, or they have
It covers, I believe it covers your spouse within your household, but it does not cover them off your property.
Okay.
So if you like own 5 acres on the whole 5 acres, she or he would be covered as well. But if you live in an apartment, it's just confined to your probably your apartment. So, but they do offer a discount for spouses as well. So it's in my opinion, it's I would rather have that than auto insurance, if I had a choice. But
How
that's
about
me.
do they have something like if somebody steal your firearm, do they cover for that?
Yes, your firearm was insured up to a certain amount. They did do that. Trying to think what else. I can't, I didn't work for them or anything, so, and I'm not trying to sell anything, so it's been a little while. But when I looked through all of them, Honor Guard, the NRA one, I believe there was 1 or 2 others. They were the one that struck mine. Basically, seemed right for me. So. It seemed like no baloney. You can pick who you want, or they can pick somebody for you. You're instantly bailed out. And you can work on your defense from home or with your counsel instead of stuck behind bars because I don't have 60 grand or whatever to put up. I don't know.
Yeah, I have USCCA, and I think it's like $30 a month, and it's nice to know.
Oh yeah.
If I would to be arrested, my wife or whoever can just call the number, and they will, immediately get me an attorney, because you may not be able to do that from being locked up. They will immediately pay your bail. So,
and in the end, if you're found to be at fault, you're stuck with the bill, and they're going to walk away from you. So it's not like a safety net where you can be a dumbass and expect to get away with it in a sense. So, and that's the problem I think with New York. They saw it as a safety net, but if I did something stupid, it's still going to be on me. And I don't know. USCCA might bill me for their time that they wasted on me at that point. So. It's not a get out of jail free card if you're an idiot, but if you're in the right, it is nice not to, to be on the outside working on defense and whatnot and actually have a fighting chance.
Yeah, and they cover red flag, so they'll help you, fight that also, as long as, and again, if you deserve to be red flagged because you did something moronic, you're going to end up paying that back. But, they'll help you fight to get your rights restored, and all that. Because at the end of the day, you're looking probably $100,000-$200,000 that you're going to have to be able to come up with to hire the attorney, all the court costs, and everything. And, I don't know a whole lot of people that just have an extra couple $100,000 laying around.
Expert witnesses, medical, officials, they can make it very expensive as far as, the prosecutors and district attorney you might be dealing with. So.
Yep.
A lot more than people think about. And I don't know if many people have had the unfortunate pleasure of dealing with attorneys, but they have a bunch of assistants at $200, $300 an hour that do all the legwork, and then their prices, they can jump pretty high. So it's not a cheap ordeal just for something small.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website right now, and they have 3 different levels. Gold 22 a month, platinum is 30, and the elite is 47. Which the elite covers the red flag laws.
Yeah. Well, all of them have a little bit of the red flag coverage. It's just who's going to, which stage is going to cover like the most of it.
Yeah, definitely got to check that out for sure.
Mr. Tactical Pickle is asking who's spray painting. That would be Mr. Rob D tagging the side of a building. You know, he did already say he went to Lowe's and got spray paint. And by the way, Rob, that Target stand that you did looked pretty good. So, but one of these days I'll get out and be able to video the Target stand that I custom built. It's all metal, but that requires welding. You know, for people that would be requiring welding, but I have found another one that I've thought about doing, you know, which doesn't require any welding or anything, so that it'd be a little cheaper and probably a lot easier for people that don't, you know, have never welded, so they could end up putting together a portable steel Target stand, and so that you could have it so it would fit inside your vehicle.
Yeah, there's a few companies out there that make something similar, but most of them you have to have a 2x4.
Yeah, I built one that it's all metal and it breaks down. You got your two legs, then your bar that runs across to connect your two legs, and then I've got two arms that hang down, which your AR-500 steel will attach to, so you can shoot that.
Yeah, I found a website the other day, yesterday. They got some nice targets and stuff, pretty cheap.
Yeah, like I got 3 AR-500 targets off Amazon. I think I paid, well, they would have been, I think they were like $70, but I ended up getting them for around $10-15 because I decided to go and get the Amazon credit card just so that I would get, because I ordered a big order and it came to like almost $100. And so after they gave me the credit for getting the credit card and some of the Amazon points that I already had, I was able, I think I paid like $10-15 for $100 worth of stuff.
Yeah, I got four 3-inch AR-500 gongs, 3/8. 4 of those for I can't remember, but I got them from Shooting Target 7.
So how much was your metal stand to build? What it cost you?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing. I paid.
We're even, because my, you know, both my stands that I built was $10 an amount now. But the first one I built for nothing too. So it was just scrap stuff I had around and figured it would be a good idea to break down and I could fit it in the car if I needed to. So, and I like the not endless, but for $10.99, you can get 900 and some odd square feet of paper. And if you break that out math-wise versus Targets, I mean, you know, it's almost uncomparable on price-wise. So that's, you know, I'm very cheap. So that's where my stand might help somebody if they really don't want to spend money. The Targets add up, in my opinion. Most of them I've seen out there are the PVC, where if it takes a shot or two, it's done. And they're all pretty much dedicated to the standard Target size, which I cringe every time. My local shop will have Targets for like 12 for like basically $12. You know, it's you know, I just feel like I'm shooting my money. So You know, it's a lot of money if you're not zeroing in or something like that. It seems a little extreme to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're real cheap like me, you might like my stand. But yeah, I got roped into my lady's project here. That's why I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm sure some of you can understand that sometimes your partner will start a project or something, and then you end up having to step in places.
So I got from High Caliber AR 500 steel, 1/2 inch thick. There was 3 of them: a 4-inch, a 6-inch, a 4-inch, a 6-inch, and an 8-inch target. Their circle for $70.
That's not bad.
And then because I did the credit card, it was like $80 off your order if you applied for the credit card and were approved.
Get a discount, huh?
So you got, and so I ended up and then I've you could easily build a metal stand to hold your like your AR 500 steel for, well, depending upon how cheap you went, you could do an all metal stand, and you could probably bring it in for about $20.
I got to have something that's portable.
Yeah.
$20 isn't bad. And
Well,
how many targets for one target, or?
I got 3 targets. You know,
Well, I mean, on per stand, how many targets per stand would you get?
I can put 3 targets on the stand if I want.
Stand. All right.
Or if you really want to be cheap, you could get the AR 500 steel. You could get, you know, at a local garden center, you could get one of those like wrought iron plant holders that has a hook.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And you could then hang your target from that. And you're talking $15 roughly, probably for one of those stands. Maybe you can find them cheaper.
I just ordered 3 of those from Brownells.
I was gonna say you can pick up rebar and just bend the curve in that, and they're $4 to $8 a piece, depending what size. If you go 4 foot or you want taller, so it's another option. So I'd pick some up today.
Let's see.
Maybe another idea for that, you know, on the cheap aspect is old bed frames and metal bed frames you might be able to use as kind of free scrap metal if you're welding things up. So I used one of those in a 55-gallon drum, a few sockets, Craftsman wrench, and built a barbecue grill that everybody loves. But yeah,
You can go
there's
with
resources around. So
you can go with this right here, which is a 48-inch steel painted metal shepherd's hook, $8.
yeah, that's a good price.
So if you got 3 of those, you're looking $24, and then you're looking, you know, the cost of your steel target. So That wouldn't
said.
be.
Sorry, go ahead.
You could be into 3 reusable targets that you are probably never going to have to replace unless you really screw them up. For $100.
Yeah, not bad. If you're not shooting a rifle or something and you have a local steel plant, a lot of times you can pop in and get cutoffs, and they're very cheap. Most of my targets I use for handgun are all just steel cutoffs, where I've gotten 5-6 pieces, 10 by or 8 by 10s for like $12 at a time, and they take a beating. I mean, I've even shot slugs at them. The plate may bend a little or concave, then I just turn the stand around and shoot it the other way. They're like, if you do the math, maybe $3-4 a piece. Works great for pistol.
Yep. And you can go you can get thinner AR 500 for just handgun calibers, but that 1/2 inch, like Tactical Pickle was saying earlier, will withstand a 7mm at 100 yards. So you can still use that same target to shoot both handgun at 10+ yards, or your rifles at 100+ yards. So they are kind of nice. But paper targets are great also. Paper targets are great for when you're like zeroing your sights or your red dots. Or if you want to really get into hitting your red, hitting your like precision. But then you can also get a 2-inch steel target for precision. Or you could take like your 4-inch target, and you could spray paint a red circle in the middle, and okay, can I put all my rounds in that red circle?
I think paper is nice, I guess I would say, for precision, and steel, like for minute of man, is the way I'd look at it, kind of. But kind of a value on the paper in a sense. If you shoot, it's happened to me where I shot steel kind of repetitively and then jump back to paper, and honestly, my groups are pretty sloppy. You don't notice it on the steel. In some cases, depending what the worst case scenario is somebody's got a knife to your wife's throat or something. You know what I mean? That taking a shot by somebody, are you going to be able to handle that? I think if you shoot at steel a lot, no. I think as long as you hear the ring, you're pretty much good. But every once in a while, you jump back to paper, and I think you might surprise yourself here and there. Also, paper has the ability to where you can make games with a partner. You can play tic-tac-toe. You can do all types of stupid things and really challenge yourselves. Just some good old fun. So. Obviously, you can do different things with steel as well, but there's advantages to both. So I think people get sloppy with steel after time. So that is minute a man, no problem. But are you gonna hit an apple 3 yards away if you tried? Probably not. So I don't know.
And that's the thing is, I always think you should have, if you're gonna shoot steel, you need to have something like either a 2-inch or a 4-inch. Because that's a smaller target. And then if you have a 6 or 8-inch target, every once in a while, put those two targets close together. So your larger 6 or 8-inch target is partially covering up your smaller target, and see if you can't hit that smaller target without hitting your larger target. So you're training more like you're doing a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying. Can you hit that small target without hitting your large target? Kind of challenge yourself.
I got one of those targets like that with the little hostage on the back that flips back and forth. pretty fun.
Yeah. And again, you can just buy regular targets, but sometimes I think more if you kind of like if you're building it,
Hmm.
you're you can kind of design it the way you want it. What's going to best suit you and your needs and where you're going to be shooting. Hey, if you have a large, huge piece of property, yeah, you could just build yourself your own shooting range. But not a lot of all of us have 100 acres to be able to build us a custom shooting range.
Yeah, that's my next goal.
So, Buck, you saying that you want a swinging target? That's what I built. So I've got my two legs, and this is all out of galvanized steel. I have two legs that stand up, and then there's a piece of like rebar that comes out that's welded to the legs that I have on each side, which are in an A. And then so I have two of those, and then I've got a steel bar that runs across, and then there's two hangers that hang down that so you've got a larger piece of pipe that sits over your connecting pipe that also has then a arm that hangs down, which your target attaches to. So when you shoot, your target moves back and forth, and you can actually make that thing, if you get it the momentum, you can get it to spin. I see we got Mr. G Webbs here.
So ammunition, where's everybody buying their ammunition right now?
I get mine locally. I mean, my local gun shop is pretty darn good at having ammo, and then of course I shoot 40, so for the most part it's readily available. But in my area, there's a lot of 40 caliber levers, and so sometimes it can get pretty hard to find 40 cal ammo.
I haven't bought any in quite a while. I bought a little bit of 20 gauge back when this kicked off. Since then, the stores were closed down. I'm not sure if they're open back up again or not. But besides that, I haven't really bought any. I try to always keep some on hand for weird things like this. I'm not thrilled because I prefer to, pick up what I'm going to go shoot, but that's not a thing I can do here locally. I'd have to drive the PA to do so, which I might do. We were just talking about that, but so far I haven't really bought anything, not throughout all this.
I didn't buy any, but when I was at my local gun shop today because I was looking at getting a Holosun 507C version 2. And so I was trying to see if they could get one in or if they had one. And I noticed that they had some 40 on the shelf. So, but I haven't bought any. I'm still sitting on a pretty good amount. So,
yeah, I've been buying a couple hundreds every week, couple hundred rounds. Academy has been having some pretty good deals.
yeah.
That's the way I did it, was, little at a time, basically. Every time I go or pass the store, I'd pick up a box or two. If there was a sale or something. Basically, I did the same thing with tools for a long time. Like, rule was one tool a paycheck, so I almost switched the same way to ammo at some point. And I'm picking up, usually was picking up a couple boxes every paycheck, so.
I see we're joined by Screaming Skull Salon, Ohio 45 ACP, and Mike. Ohio's got a good point. He said that he goes to the garden center at the end of the year and he picks up those shepherd hooks as, they're ending the season. So that, they're probably discounted. You can pick them up for a couple bucks.
That's a good idea.
So, but yeah, I try to, make sure that I'm buying, at least like 50 rounds a paycheck minimum. But then if I see the ammo's on sale or there's a rebate, like right around Black Friday, Federal Black Box put on a rebate for $25 off 2 boxes of ammo up to, up to $100 return. So if you picked up 8 boxes, you were going to get $100 back. So, if you're getting $12.50 off a box of ammo, and the box of ammo is normally $50, and now you're picking it up on sale for $40, and then they're going to give you $12.50 off the box, pretty much. When you get that check back, so now you're picking it up for 20, 27, $28 a box for 200 rounds.
Yeah, it's always good to pay attention for deals. Same thing when purchasing a firearm. So I've been shocked to find out at a time when I was searching for a 7.95 that Marlin was running some kind of deal, but you had to know about it, I guess. So I bring it up, and basically I saved like $50 on the firearm. So, but if I didn't know, I would have been paying extra.
We have a local store. It's kind of like a big box store. It's, I think it's Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon. There might be a couple other states. It's Bi-Mart. And they don't do anything online. Like you can't order, ammo off their webpage or anything like that. So you have to go in store. But you can look on there, like what's up for sale and stuff, and they'll, put in, ads for when they're going to put ammo on sale and stuff. And they run that ammo on sale a lot, and it's a great little place to pick it up. Well, I see we got a new guy. Michael.
You guys buy dinner.
We got Michael Bingle 33. I'm not sure if I'm butchering that name, but then we got Mr. Walter Davis. So yeah. So has anyone picked up any new firearms?
I haven't.
Me neither.
I did pick up my first Holosun. Got it on a sale through Palmetto State. It's the I can remember now what model was.
Yeah, I'm just saving money right now. See how things pan out. So myself, it's a lot of different news out, and prices are supposed to be going up for food and whatnot. So I don't know. Figure I've got what I need for defense in a sense. So at this point, would rather have options than be pinned down with loads of toilet paper or, extra guns or whatever else.
Yeah. Well, I picked up a new holster, and it was like $24. Level 2 retention, and I'm not real. I've never really heard of this company before. It's like TEGE, but it's actually I really do like the holster. It's got that paddle on there for being outside the.
Is that on Amazon or something?
Yeah, it was on Amazon for $24.
Probably not American made, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you. With holsters, and I'm just riding, I guess, a little bit, but
Yep.
holsters, a lot of that stuff you can get right here. There's a lot of American companies making that stuff.
It is a Chinese holster.
Boy.
I know, but it's got the RMR cut on it, so it's already set up for like RMR suppressor height sights and everything. And they've got a bunch of accessories that you can get for it, which isn't too bad, And it's got a nice, that thumb release for your level 2 security is actually really nice. It feels really good. So
hopefully it works. Doesn't glow in the dark or infect and kill you.
yeah, I probably got.
Just being a smart ass.
I probably got the Rona for it. Yep, Midnight already was on that same wavelength. He said, "Rona holster, run."
Yeah. Nah, some things are good. So I hate to say it, but like vehicle wise, I stand by like Chevy and Honda. I love Chevy trucks and Honda cars. I know Honda's not made here, but American cars I can afford outright because I don't pay extra for my stuff. I don't want so.
Nissan. I run a lot of Nissan, and they actually have plants here in the United States. So a lot of their vehicles are made here in the United States.
Yeah, and some in Mexico as well, from what I hear.
And then, Ford's done, assembled in America.
Yeah.
Some of Chevy is done in Canada. So.
Oh yeah, it's all the major companies now. It seems to be so. Certain models it might be made here, others other places. But yeah, no, I just mentioned that about affordability and stuff.
Yep.
So some of the older Chevys and Ford vehicles, I think, are just nothing but headaches. Where an older Honda, you can put $100 a year into it, if that, drive it to Florida and back, and do whatever you want. You might change 5-10 parts for that $100, but it's simple, cheap, quick, and easy, and the parts are everywhere.
Well, I see Screaming Skull Salon is got a bail, so have a good evening. We've been invaded by Andrew Faulkner now. Welcome, Mr. Faulkner.
Yeah, pretty much everything nowadays is made somewhere. Some parts made somewhere.
Yeah, the other night when I was on your live stream, Mr. Carolina, we were discussing the holster, and then I I looked at their little, pamphlet book that they include, and in that pamphlet book, they show that you can take the shell off and put it onto a drop leg,
Okay.
and it's just 2 screws. So yeah, you can put it onto like a single strap drop leg or a double strap drop leg.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you get that holster for your Glock?
I did get it for the G23.
Okay. You know what? That totally changes my opinion. That's fine. That deserves one of them Rona holsters, so we're all good.
Hey, but my Glock was made in Smyrna, Georgia, and I'm pretty sure that my car was made in Smyrna, Tennessee. So if it's made somewhere that has the name Smyrna and in the United States, I'm probably going to buy it.
Yeah, it's still a blocky Glock, so I don't know. I just love messing with it. I'm sure people hate me because of that, because I joke around about Glocks, but I've owned one, and honestly, it shot great. It worked fine. It's just ugly as hell. I don't know. Yeah, to me, that's all it is. Though it's nothing personal. If my life was, if I would not trust it to defend my life. I'll put it that way. It just doesn't look very good. So.
But if it was the only one right next to you and you had to grab that gun or get shot, I guarantee you'd grab the gun to protect your life.
Oh, yeah. I'd use it and lie and say it was my M&P.
Mr. Ozzy out here says, who buys holsters? Well, not all of us have the time to be able to custom make our own holsters.
Yeah, you see that? You could have employed an American right there, Mr. Ozzy. He would have rocked you out a badass holster. That would have been New York Outcast approved.
I asked Mr. Ozzy like multiple times if he could make a holster for my G23, and he says he doesn't have the pattern, so I had to go and break down and buy one.
Okay. Well, that's just a whole nother level of respect for him. Why have a pattern for a Glock? I can understand that.
I was about to say the same thing. He must not like Glocks either.
But I guess I didn't ask him the correct question, which is, does he have a like G19 that he could pattern a holster? Because the 23 sits in the same holster as the 19. So if you had a G19,
Legos.
If you had a G19, I could then just, have him make one for the G19 and stick my 23 right in there.
2x4, some Legos, should be easy to come up with a Glock pattern. Some of those holsters do get tricky, though, especially when you're talking about putting lights on and things. It does get hard to find. Not everybody makes them for certain lights, and then once you fall in love with the holster and your light takes a crap, now you're spending how much to replace that light. So it's just it can be tedious, I guess.
See, like I don't have a light on my EDC. I have a light that I can clip on it when I'm at home, and it's not sitting in a holster, but for just, carrying at work and stuff like that. And yes, my company allows open carry, concealed carry, however you want, inside the plant.
America. Good company there. Mm-hmm. Said leave your problems at home.
Yep. And our company is, they're still a great little company. And they give you a birthday present every year, and they give a $100 gift card to go for Thanksgiving. So you can either use it to like buy gas if you're going to go visit your family, or you could use it to, buy, Thanksgiving dinner to host for your family or whatever, you might need.
That's pretty cool. You don't see a lot of that these days. You hear more excuses like, well, profits weren't as great, or, there was too much loss this quarter, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that. Here's a $20 gift card at best.
Yeah.
Where they're like, be happy you still have a job.
Yep. I've worked for a couple places like that where, oh, we got you a pair of socks for Christmas. Be happy you got that.
Sound like Natural Lampoon Christmas.
They hand you a paycheck, say Merry Christmas. You get all excited, get out to your vehicle, open it up, and it's just your normal check.
Yep. But yeah, I really do like the company I'm working for now. I mean, everybody, we all have to go to safety meetings and stuff like that. And
paid safety meetings?
Yeah, we get paid lunch, safety
the donuts and stuff, coffee.
Oh, our company provides you lunch. They will buy lunch.
That's the best kind, man. I don't know where you're working, but it's sounding better and better.
And they pay you for your lunch time, on that day. So you can either take your normal lunch and then bail a half hour early because you already got paid for your lunch that you normally wouldn't get paid for. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
So what is it, like ATF, NSA?
Well, if I told
sounding like a regular job, bro. Sounds like one of them union jobs or something. Something's going on here.
If I told you, somebody might knock on your door. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right. So the rumors are true. You are working for the Clintons.
I definitely know where that missing server is.
I think somebody needs to check your closet in the bathroom. Check your linen closet. See what you're holding here, buddy. That's cool. Most places don't look after their employees anymore. I don't think anyway. So my mom got kind of shafted. My uncle got shafted, both from the same company. They got 29 3/4 or 29 1/4 years in. And then they canned them so they didn't have to give them full retirement and stuff like that. And just, crappy stuff companies do.
Yep.
You hear these stories about the guy finding out he's losing his job when the boss rolled in with his third Ferrari or something, and then the guy goes out and beats the shit out of the guy's car. Sorry, I don't know if that was PG or what, but you almost don't blame these guys, honestly. Yeah. That's wrong, but under your breath you're like, shit, you got lucky. So
Yep. And yeah, I don't keep my channel PG. I mean, we're all adults.
My apologies if I ruined anything.
Oh, nope, there's no ruining anything here. Oh, we got the 1%er showing up. Mr. Rick White's in the house.
Yeah, that's too bad. I think, a lot of people kind of gave up working or work ethic and things like that. And I think, there's a lot to do with people's values. But on top of that, when you do see people get burned and burned and burned doing their part and getting screwed over, there's got to be a certain amount of people that are like, well, what's the point? You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of depressing too. So,
yeah.
The whole scenario just kind of was screwed up. It's messed up system. I think no matter what it is, if you do your part, people should hold up to their end of the deal and not cop out on the end. So even if you're not happy, it's just like business. So sometimes you may not care, you may hate the people you got to do a job for, but you do your job, you get it done, you get paid. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yep. But yeah, I work in food manufacturing, and I've worked for a couple different companies that you're just another number, and so they don't care, anything about you. And now the company I work for now, the owner will get out there and work right beside you. He's not afraid to, get his hands dirty.
That's nice. So I know I've been that way, so still that way in a sense. Yeah, I'll do everything from the bottom step to all the way up. Doesn't matter to me. It's all got to get done, and I don't get paid until it gets done. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's nice when people handle things right, in my opinion.
That is. So what are you tagging up over there?
A hutch, unfortunately. So this all started with her wanting to replace this convection oven or something. And, I was like, oh God, whatever you want to do, whatever, doesn't, as long as it doesn't bother me. So of course she went and, sanded this whole thing down, steamed it, stripped it all down and everything. Now wants to paint it. And she's going to do something to it. I don't know what else. And then she's got me building a rollout spice rack that's going to fit between the stove and refrigerator. Therefore, we can downsize what's on this hutch, transfer things over, and make room for the other stuff. So, unfortunately, I thought I was getting out of work, and apparently I got pulled into more. So, and now she's giving me the stink eye coming around the corner. So, love you, babe.
You'll put yourself in more work now.
Yep. He's already kissing butt. You heard him right before he turned off his mic. Love you, babe.
Yes, honey. I'll do it. I'll get it done. You go to bed.
Yep. We all do that.
Mm-hmm.
We all suck up to our wives.
Hey, gotta keep them happy. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, sometimes, just go with the flow, pick your battles. You can't win them all.
Mm-mm.
Yep. Now, am I the only guy that's done this, or have you guys done this? You tell your wife you're going to go look at a vehicle, and then you take it out on a test drive, and you fall in love with it, so you buy it, and you bring it home, and you say, hey, honey, you want to go on a ride? And they're like, no, you can take that back. And it's like, nope, I already done bought it.
No, I've never done that.
Nah.
No, that's not true. I was going to say, I might have had my vehicles longer than I had my lady, but no, I'm a loyalist when it comes to things like that. I don't just make win decisions on vehicles, especially vehicles. So again, I'm not ever going in to pay more, to borrow money or something like that. That's just me.
Yeah, well,
I drive a 95 work truck with 360,000 miles on it, and it fires up every time. I can throw lumber in the back. If somebody hits me, I don't even notice. What scratch was it? That's freedom. If I had a $40,000 truck, I'd be crying. I wouldn't be able to park it anywhere. Every time you go to the store, I'd be chasing kids away and stuff. So to me, it's not worth it. Some people, they love to shine. The way I see it, if it bothers you that much, you're welcome to buy me a new truck. But So
Yep.
that's fine for me. It
Well,
starts up, runs. I've had it like 12 years, and in that time period, I think I put less than $2,500 in it. Like most people spend more than that a year on payments or something. They don't even end up keeping it.
yep. Well, I had picked up a 95 GMC Suburban with a 3.5-inch lift kit. And it was rolling on 33 1250s. So I see Mr. Warsaw Patriot is in the house. So I think I paid $3,500 for it. And I got lucky because so the dealership I got it from a seizure. So the guy who owned it had just got done, rebuilding the motor, re-gearing the transmission so it could, tow his boat and everything. And he had a airbag assist in the back, so you were running your regular suspension. Then you had your airbags to level when you were towing. And the guy let his brother borrow his Suburban, and he got caught with narcotics in the vehicle. So they seized the vehicle, and then I ended up getting it.
That sucks. You gotta be careful who you loan vehicles to. Dude, in my state, you gotta be careful who you give a ride to, because somebody's holding something, they just drop it on the floor, it instantly becomes yours if you're the driver.
Yep.
You're responsible for whatever's in that vehicle. There's a lot of people I grew up with. I see on the street, they wave, I wave, and just keep driving. And thank you. Gotta play it safe.
Did you read Ozzy's comment?
No, not here.
It's on the screen.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, he's got the similar situation, huh? That's funny.
And if you're not subbed to Mr. Warsaw Patriot, I would definitely say jump on over there and sub to him. He's got a couple signs that he's given away in his newest giveaway, and I definitely want that Tula sign.
That's cool. Is it like a metal sign or something, or something?
It's wood.
Or
It's
wood.
Yeah, he did it all, and he burnt the wood and sealed it and everything, and he turned it into signs that can hang on your wall or whatever. So they look really nice, really, really nice.
That's cool. Yeah, some of that stuff's pretty neat. The branding items and stuff. So especially if it's anything kind of unique, kind of cool.
We got Mr. Rupan who showed up, and of course, Miss 9mm is listening.
Blessed by Miss 9mm, huh?
Yep. So, yeah. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'll probably get some kind of channel strike for showing. Copyright infringement.
Yeah, doesn't that seem to be the way it goes? As soon as you're, I'm out here all by myself. Start saying something about my lady, and then comes walking out. It's like, it's just amazing.
So if you look at the share screen, these are the signs that he's giving away. You got the Tula.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that second one down I can see pretty clear. That looks pretty nice.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that Tula with that nice like burnt wood. And then the sign looks really, and this is just a lighter burnt and lighter, lighter stain. So
What do you prefer, light or dark wood? I know how that sounds. I know, but that's not what it was.
Yep, no, that's a little personal there. Don't
That's
like any
not what
kind of wood.
Let's say we're talking about a hardwood floor. Would you rather it's a lighter color or a darker color? Let me run that a different way. I prefer the lighter. Well, that's kind of comical too, but but I tend to find I like the natural kind of where it doesn't all match, but it's the lighter wood. So
well, yeah, if you can get that nice, like dark oak where the grains don't completely line up and stuff like that. Yeah, that's definitely probably the better way. I think the darker is the better way to go.
Yeah, I agree. Darker.
all right. Well, you can disagree. It just makes you wrong. It's no big deal.
So, Warsaw says the Tula is burnt with a blowtorch, sanded, and stained with cherry red stain. And the Izzy is burnt with a blowtorch lightly and sanded. So that is
Well, look good.
Yeah.
Surprised he's not selling them on eBay for $50 or something. Well,
I tried getting him to sell one. I tried getting him to sell me that Tula sign. But then he's like, oh no, that's part of the giveaway. I'm like, oh crap, now I'm gonna have to go sign up for a giveaway. So
yeah. You can, people obviously had the ability, can make a lot of nice stuff at home. So
yes. That was the original plan.
Yeah. I'm the kind of guy that needs a rack for video games. I go to the store and look at these plastic shelves for like $45, and I'm like, yeah, right. Like, all right, I'm stopping at Lowe's. And then I build one for like $12. I got people over here asking me where I got them, and it fools them. I think I made it. So, but I got two for less than the price of one, and they fit a lot more. Things like that. But a little bit of time, you can save yourselves a lot of money.
Andrew, he's shooting dice against the 7-Eleven wall, trying to hustle that dollar. Andrew says, Rob, are you rattle canning or are you at a craps game?
Yep, rattle cannon. Yeah, I'm not a fan of painting anything like this myself, but again, I'm just following orders here. So personally, I don't care, but whatever, especially after she just went through the time to bring it all back down to wood. So like I said, I'm just following orders. I don't care because it just holds, I guess, now the microwave convection oven. I don't know what's going on now, but it don't matter to me. I'm pretty simple.
So I got the permission from Mr. Warsaw to feel free to show those signs as much as I want. So, and
Lucky
Mr.
I'm busy. I'd be trying to cut in on them, make some signs, throw them up for $5 cheaper. No, I'm just kidding.
I know Mr. Carolina EDC is giving away a tack pack over on IG. I don't know if you want to promote that, Mr. Carolina.
Oh yeah, I usually give one away every month. So yeah, just go to my Instagram and follow the rules to enter. Hopefully, I'll be doing another giveaway soon as I reach 2,000 subscribers. Then I'll give more information on that. But yeah, go ahead on to Instagram and enter that giveaway.
How close are you to the 2,000 mark now?
Last time I checked, I was 50 short.
50 people.
Yep.
So if you get like 1,000 on Instagram, does that give you something, or
No,
is there a
on
goal for the 1,000, or?
no, 2,000 on YouTube.
Okay.
Warsaw says, if I was going to sell those signs, I'd be charging $50 a piece for just one. That's still not bad. I mean, that's not a bad price.
And depending on how it's marketed, some people like to pay more. I mean, I think it's stupid, but even personally with business, you know, you tell somebody a price is too cheap, they look at you like a joke. So you got to kind of inflate the price, and then they want 5 of them. So yeah, it's weird. But depending how you market it, definitely $50 I think would be the starting point.
Yeah, I was thinking like 50, like 50, $60 would be definitely a good starting price. But I do like the fact that he's going to give it away for free, because free is way better than paying $50.
I got a good example of what I just stated. I had an issue with a company that was installing a hot water heater, and they were charging $400 for basic installation. So a gas hot water heater, same size, going in the same place. So anybody that knows it, there's not much work to that. And they were charging four something for it. And I've told people I'd throw it in for like $125, and people were laughing at me. But if I tell them $250, I'm busy installing hot water heaters all day. And, you know, it takes, I don't know, less than, depending where you're at. For me, it may take an hour and a half to go purchase a hot water heater, come back and install it for $250. So that's, you know, to me, I think that's more than fair. But these guys, you know, some people like to pay $400. So.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's not that hard to install a hot water tank.
No, not if you're doing the same one. I mean, if you're not doing a purification system or a softener or anything like that, it's pretty basic.
I mean, the hardest part about it is the electrical, you know, hooking up your wires. But if you look at it before you undo them and you snap a picture, you know, you can turn around and say, okay, when I go to rehook it up, I can just open up my phone, look at my picture, and what wire goes where. If you know. But you should know black is definitely your ground. Red is going to be hot. Yes. The toughest part of replacing a hot water tank is pulling the old one out of the basement.
Pretty much draining it, you know, quick enough so you're not sitting there all day, getting it drained and hauled out.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, depends. Like I said, the marketing makes a big difference. So depending what your product is, you know, you put a fancy name on it, throw it in the right place, and you get 4 times what you would get somewhere else.
Well,
Crazy stuff.
if you have it not wanting to drain out, there's this nice thing called a drill. And you drill like a 1/2-inch hole in there, and it will drain.
Sometimes people have issues with them draining due to the they didn't disconnect them yet. You disconnect your lines, obviously turn your water off, disconnect them, then drain it. It usually drains a lot better. So I've seen people struggle with that.
I know somebody that didn't turn the water off and unhooked the lines, and then couldn't figure out why the water kept flowing.
Wow.
That's funny. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. I've come into jobs where pipes went from a basement all the way up to a 3rd floor just to do a U-turn behind a stove, which doesn't even make sense, back downstairs, and it was a water line and stuff. So it wasn't even ran in the right spot. So people do some weird things sometimes. Don't make any sense. Seen new windows that somebody held and just spray foamed in place, and that was called installed. And they sheetrocked around instead of, adjusting any framing or anything like that. They just held it and spray foamed it. Amazing.
Yep. Looks like we got Consolidated 1776 who's joined us.
Well, at the DC rally, met midnight, a couple of people there. Walter, he was in the chat earlier, I think. We all met there. You still out there? Cool.
Yeah.
Went to lunch, and my bill ended up being 1776. I thought that was, pretty neat in a sense. Just sat down and eat dinner with, a bunch of patriots, and the bill came up to 1776. So does that mean something? I don't know.
That does sound like it would be a fun thing to do. Mr. Gun-Loving Grandpa says he took his old water heater to his junk pile and ran the hose to it, filled it up, and shot it with his AR-15.
That sounds like fun.
Nice.
So what were you saying, Mr. Rob?
Don't know. I think I was just talking crap, so I don't even know. It wasn't important.
It was about
my lady's not too mad. She bring me a cup of coffee, so right there.
Wow. How do you rate your woman bringing you a cup of coffee?
Yeah, apparently pretty good. We'll keep this PG. Well, I didn't argue too much. We went down, dropped money to come do something she knows I wouldn't do. I'd advise against doing. It's like people painting wooden staircases or something. It just, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. You just don't do that. But, whatever. So I just went with the flow. So I guess I'm on good terms.
Yep. Two gun kitties running out to get some dinner.
Say, depending which way you look at this hutch, it almost kind of looks like a Glock.
Yep.
Either you guys get that new Glock 22?
No.
You mean
Any interest or no?
The G44?
Well, the 44. Yeah, the 44. That's a 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me, screwing with the Glock numbers here. But,
I,
you guys have
I've thought
any
about
use
getting it.
for it? Any need?
I've thought about
I mean,
getting it. I've thought about getting it, but I've always like I don't ever get the Gen 1 because a lot of times Gen 1s have
Yeah, that makes sense.
with any kind of gun, Gen 1s normally will have some kind of problem, because you can never truly get everything 100%. You want to get it, but they should, but I'll probably pick one up. I might think about getting a Gen 1 and then just never use it and have it as, like a collector item. Because some of the old Gen 1s, like if you could get your hand on a Gen 1, Gen 2, like 17, 19 or whatever.
The 2, Gen 2.
Those things you can turn around and sell if they're like factory sites and everything. You can get those. You can sell those for like $1,300 or more.
I got ripped off. Yeah, I was in the impression Gen 1s were the ones worth money. So I did a little research and this and that. Initially got it thinking it might be something, and then I was told no, and ended up letting it go. So
Yep. Nope.
Got it to help a lady out whose husband decided he had terminal cancer and was starting to go downhill quick, and he ended up just taking care of the job himself. So basically she didn't want anything to do with the firearms and whatnot. So a couple people that he grew up with kind of went in and helped her out, I guess. So gave her fair deals and whatnot. She was almost willing to just give it away. The SIG he used, honestly, I seen it came in an evidence bag, and there was still hair and stuff all over it, and I passed on that, so I couldn't touch that. But somebody took that off her hands. So some crazy stuff.
Here you go. Glock 17 Gen 1, $2,600. That's with the factory box and everything.
Nice.
Buy now, it's $2,750, or you can do the bid. So if you had a Gen 1, you could have made some money.
Yeah, I don't get that lucky.
Guess what my favorite 9mm pistol is from Warsaw Patriot? I mean, a G17 would be just too obvious. So
you might like that High Point.
I'd pick him as more like a Car 9.
Yeah, thinking maybe the Yeet Cannon. I don't know.
I'm gonna say the Car 9mm.
I'll say a Ruger or something.
PT-92.
All right, Taurus. That seems like a lot of people's first guns tend to be like Rugers or Taurus in my area. So I think maybe because they're, on the affordable end. I don't know. So not that many are outpriced that, but it just seems, I don't know, maybe there's just a lot of them around. I have no idea.
What does a Sig 320 go for in your neck of the woods, Mr. Outcast?
No idea, to be honest with you. I would assume it's at least $100 more than most places. If you see it online at Buds or something like that, wherever you shop or whatever, it's probably at least $100 more here. So I know my M&P compact that I saw for like $269, I think it was online. I ended up paying $410 for to take home here.
Wow.
Yeah. So kind of ticks me off. So, but here, yes, I can order online, but it's got to go to the dealer, and then the dealers charge you at minimum like $45 for a transfer plus the taxes, whatever shipping might be involved. And in the end, I could have done the whole mail route, and I would have probably saved $60. So for that cost, I just had my guy order it, and I got it from him, which I've done a lot of business with him, and he's always been good to me. So if anybody's making money, I would rather it was him besides the state. So
Yep. I see we got Mr. Weston Probst in the house now. So now I know like some of your like local mom and pop stores, your smaller stores, if you build a good rapport with them and you've done business with them a lot, sometimes if you find one online, they may meet you in the middle depending upon like how big the price difference is. I don't know if you have any of them doing that for you.
no, here it's pretty. They state law, they can only charge you $10, and then they go on this whole spiel about their time and everything else they put into it. So it's like minimum usually $45. So for whatever, they don't cut any breaks, plus whatever they're going to make off and things or this or that. Even if I wanted to transfer a gun to my friend that I know is legal, I still got to go down, pay a shop owner at least $45 when he feels like doing it. He's not busy, to call in a NICS check on another concealed carry holder so I can, give him this gun or whatever I want to do. So they basically, it's horrible. To me, it's they're out to get you no matter what they do. Similar to like DMV. Got to pay to get your plates, pay to keep your plates, and then pay to turn the dang things in. I mean, I wish I had a business model like these people get away with.
Like here, you buy your plates, and then your plates are yours for the rest of your life.
Oh, not here. If you're not up to date on your registration, it starts off immediately that day. And every day, say you forget, and you're going to wait till payday, and you waited a week, and now you go back down and pay for it again. Not only do you have to pay a penalty of $7 per day, but you also have to wait a week before you can legally drive that vehicle again. Even if it's sold to somebody else, they cannot put it on the road for that time period. So
Wow.
A lot of people get screwed buying a new car because so-and-so took off or went to jail and the car just sat there with plates on it. So it's upsetting. Put it that way.
Well, you're welcome, Mr. Warsaw, and hopefully I win the giveaway. Looks like Mr. Warsaw is heading out for the evening.
Have a good evening.
Looks like Walter said that his brother had to pay like a $600 surcharge to buy a gun in New Jersey.
Wow. Yeah, it's strange. it boggles me, as strict as they are here. Some places have, in other areas, kind of worse things, which is odd, in my opinion. But it's just weird stuff.
Yeah. But like, so yeah, if you're over here like in Oregon, you'll see like cars where their plates have lost like whatever color it was supposed to be, and it's just the metal with the numbers they're barely reading. All the shine is gone, but as long as you keep paying for your tags every 2 or 4 years, you're good to go.
I think I've been pulled over 3 or 4 times here and issued a ticket for a dirty plate light because my plate light was dirty. Nothing wrong with my plate, or a dirty plate because, I'm working on a seasonal road and God forbid I didn't wash my car or truck within a week, and the plate gets covered. That's a ticket here. You can't just hop out and wipe it off. Oh, no. Here's your ticket, sir.
That's like in Washington. In Washington, it's the same way. But like up there, it's every...
road pirates is a real thing here, in my opinion. So.
It's like I think it's every 5 or 7 years, they force you to buy new plates. Even if your plates are fine, you still have to buy new plates every 5 or 7 years. Talk about a racket. And then your plates, if they get dirty, they'll say, okay, well, we can't read your plate, so here's a ticket for obstructing your license plate.
Yeah, some of these laws I think are just crazy, petty garbage. It blows my mind in some cases. It's like some of the window tints and things like that. I just, find a lot of this stuff quite ridiculous.
Yeah. Ohio says, we renew plates every year. Yeah, well, like, even if you renew your tabs every year, that's one thing. But having to replace your plate, at $100 for your plates, that's not including your tabs, because they're going to charge you extra for your tabs. That's a whole different thing.
They drive around in your guys' areas just looking for people with outdated plates. In my area they do. The cars automatically scan. So if you're 2 days late on your insurance or something like that, the officers will pull up to wherever your vehicle is, track you down, and give you a ticket. I've actually seen it at the junkyard where the guy came in and gave the cashier a ticket, which I think is crazy because the guy technically wasn't in his car, wasn't even driving his car, and he still got issued a ticket while he was running a register.
Yeah. But yeah.
Amazing. You guys have that in your area too?
Well, they have plate readers and stuff
that automatically are running for validations, or
I don't know what all they do with that because
they roll through Walmart parking lots. They basically just search to give people a bad day.
Our law enforcement, at least in this area, is really, really good. I mean, they're more out to help you than they are to, jam you up. So I knew I needed new tires, and I had ordered some tires from this company, and one of my tires was like really bad. And so we put my spare tire on and everything. And I was heading up to a bigger town, and I blew a tire. My spare tire blew out because it was just bad. I mean, it blew the tread off and everything.
Now, when you're saying bad, what is this, like a steel belt tire? Was there any rubber left on it? That's a bad tire, man. It just shouldn't have been on your car or spare. Jesus.
The
It sounds like one of them 16-year-old kid stories in their first car.
well, the tire, the steel belt started to show through. So
yeah,
I took that.
should have already replaced them.
So I took that tire off and I put my spare on, and my spare looked brand new. Like when you looked at it, it looked really brand new. But I guess it had gotten some like weather beating, and so when I was driving down the road, the rubber just separated. And
okay, yeah. Tires usually have a date code. Well, they do have a date code. Like if you ever buy used ones, or if you have a spare and you got no idea on the timeline, you should look into it. It's a quick Google search or whatever. You can figure out how to figure it out. But you know, when they get to a certain age, they do get a lot weaker. So they're fine as a garden item or tire swing or something, but as far as holding pressure and things like that going down the road is another story. So yeah, there's been a lot of scams with people selling older tires. Oh, there's scams for everything in my area. So it'd be some little old lady at your door with a box of cookies, and she's probably got something. She's doing something to scam you. That's how it is around here. You better check your back door.
Well,
I know the lady jacked the kids down the street.
yeah. So I guess, Mr. Carolina, you got to bail out of here.
yes, sir. Just got to take care of some few things, so I get ready for bed. Got an early morning work time, so. But I appreciate you inviting me. Definitely gonna do this again. Sorry I haven't spoke much. Outcast, nice to meet you, brother.
Oh, nice meeting you.
Stay safe up there. G23, you do the same.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Outcast and G23, and also make sure to check me out as well. Again, I appreciate for the invite, and we definitely have to do this again.
You're welcome anytime. I keep my live stream open for anyone that wants to jump on. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Allow me in here. Anybody can get in.
All righty. Well, I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
Yep. Stay safe.
Take care.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, not familiar with his channel or anything, so I try to check it out later.
Yeah, he does a lot of EDC reviews. His last video was on like KCI mags. So
that was cool, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't ask. Does he carry a Glock?
I do think he does.
Quiet on that aspect. Yeah.
But he's a security officer, so I think that's the one that they issued to him.
Okay.
But yeah. So what I was saying was, so I ended up with a flat tire, and I'm like trying. At the time, I didn't know a whole lot of people, so I just had my brother, and I was trying to get a hold of him and trying to wake him up. He wasn't answering his phone, and the police officer showed up, and he's like, "Hey, we were discussing." I told him I had a flat tire, and I was trying to get a hold of somebody so I could get a ride to go get a new tire. And I told him where I was going to go get a new tire, and he kind of cringed, like, and so I was like, well, I guess I won't be going to that company,
It's better to know ahead of time.
Yeah. It looks like the 402 Outdoorsman has graced us with his presence.
Well, I would state I had good results with TireRack.com. So I don't know if that's like an issue to point out things. But
I
got a tire there that was a lot cheaper than from the dealer here. So I paid a shop to put them on. They screwed it up. They tore the lining of the tire, separated the sidewall when they installed it, and then tried to say it must have been me, where I didn't get out a block away before I turned around and came back. So there was an issue. Needless to say, we went back and forth 2 different times. Had to go take it to a second shop according to corporate. Finally, after arguing for about an hour, I got them to take the tire off, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's our fault." So they finally covered it after like 3 different times going to the shop. I couldn't drive on the highway. The thing shook so bad, and then a bubble started popping out. But anyway, I went to TireRack.com, got the same tire for I think a third of the cost. I couldn't believe it, and then took it to a different shop to have it mounted and balanced, and I was very happy. So
welcome, Gizzard Gary. Mr. Chicken Man has showed up into the audience.
Nice. I believe they had free shipping as well, so I know that's a biggie on when it comes to larger items. But just if anybody's out there wondering. And recently on tires, I've also put a set of remolds on my truck like 3 years ago. A friend talked me into it.
Yeah, those recaps.
No, not recaps, remolds. I guess there's a difference, big difference apparently. A lot of the major tire companies now are doing this as well to make tires more affordable, or they're using the holes of a regular tire, but they completely surround the tire, not like just treads or whatever. Anyway, it sounded like crap to me. I looked into it because a friend was working at a shop that had them. For my 95 Chevy, I can't think of my tire size now, but it's pretty basic for work truck tires. But I think I ended up paying like $320 for 4 tires installed that are 10 ply. Haven't had a single flat when I'm at the dump all the time. There's nails in the back of my truck right now. And this is my 4th year, and I'm about to need to replace them. And they got miles. I mean, miles. I can't get the mileage, but it's got to be pushing 80 to 100,000. And I just got to replace them now. So just pointing it out, keep that in mind. You know, I wouldn't stay away from recaps or retreads, but remolds, if you look into it, a lot of the main brand tire companies are going that way. So mine held up, didn't peel apart, nothing. And big savings, because you know, Goodyear tire like that was like $250, something like that, $230 a tire.
Yeah, when I had my 300ZX Turbo, I only ran Goodyear Eagle GTs on that, and those are expensive tires. And I found them on Tire Rack. And I got the Eagle GT directionals, which were even more expensive. Like if I went to try getting them locally, those were like $250 a tire.
Yeah.
And I got them on Tire Rack for like $110 a tire.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
With them shipped to my door and everything. And I was gonna do they had a wheel, a tire, and rim package. So I was thinking about just, ordering them like that. But for that 300 Turbo, the offset for the rim was so specialized. You had to pretty much have a custom rim made.
Yeah, and you want to get that right. Everybody, I can throw spacers on or so. No, that's, horrible for your front end over long time periods. Ball joints, things like that. Don't take that route. Always get the right stuff. It lasts a lot longer. It really does. So I've seen some really stupid stuff done, but people like what they like. They like burning that money and driving a jacked up truck to, the factory to work every day. So I don't know.
Yeah, for those Nissan 300ZX Turbos, they run a medium positive offset. And no one manufactures, aftermarket rims with a medium positive offset unless you run like your old school muscle rims, like your Krager rims and stuff, which you can't put that on a, European sports car with American muscle racing rims, It just doesn't, the clash is there. You couldn't do it.
Don't look right, huh?
Well, like,
No, there's a lot of people out there
old,
that take no thought in any of this, and as long as it's shiny and looks cool, they throw it on. So, like, I've been at the auto store where guys come up and he asks a guy at the counter, like, "What's this?" And he told him it's a hitch plate with a big old shiny symbol, and the guy's like, "All right, yeah," and he throws it in the cart. It's like it's shiny. Valve cover gaskets and stuff. Well, what's this do? Shiny, so let's buy it. So,
Yep.
My God, I wish I had people's money.
So, sometimes people have more money than brains,
Oh yeah. They'll go out of their way buying high performance plugs because the commercial looks great, and then they wonder why their car's misfired and it doesn't run, and they don't realize they had to upgrade their whole computer and MDS system and everything to go with it. Like, oh, yeah, some crazy stuff.
Hey, Walter, you might check out Tire Rack for that tire. Just a sec, I'll Google it real quick. Maybe if I can type.
Yeah, I definitely recommend checking them out for tires. So I've had good results. I've used them twice now because unfortunately a newer ball joint ended up snapping on me that shouldn't have. And after I just replaced that tire out of my new set, not long after that happened, and then that blew a hole right through my tire, and the arm went through my rim, and it was horrible. So I had to get another tire. So, but great shipping, fast. I think it was there in 2 days. I ordered it like 11 to 2 in the morning, sometime like that. Went to bed, woke up, and then like the next day it was sitting there on my porch. So pretty good.
$235.60.15 Cooper Cobra Radial GT.
Cooper. Ugh. Yeah. At least it's not the Discoveries. Those things, I've had horrible luck with those.
I'm running Cooper Discovery right now on my Pathfinder.
Yeah, figures. You're a Glock guy.
You got some BF Goodrich Radial TA for $170.73, so $171 a tire.
I've had people say they've worked out great. I had them. My truck came with them, and I forgot what they were rated for. I think those are 60,000, and mine didn't even, according to the guy's paperwork, mine didn't even make it to 20. So it's
I think
I'd get flats all the time because they're only 3-plot. Like I'd have to drive around with a plug kit in the back. So every time I went to drop a load off or something, I'd end up with a nail. Like one tire, I think, had 7 plugs.
Yeah, I have the Cooper Discovery ATP2, which is a 4 or 6 ply tire on there right now, and they're 70,000 mile tires, and I probably are pushed probably around 90,000 miles so far, and they're still looking pretty darn good. Here we go, some DOT drag radials. There's some Pirelli. There's some top of the line tires right there.
Is that H? All right, what's the speed rating on that? Does it say?
This is the Pirelli P600 Performance Series.
Why or Yeah.
UT.
I think Pirellis are nice. It just depends what you're using your vehicle for. So I know they've saved my butt one time, but that's another story about taking an exit ramp, you know, going a bit too fast. And you would think I would have slid to the outside, but nope, I looped right around and continued down the ramp backwards. Unfortunately, it was right in front of a detective, so it turned out to be a pretty crappy day, but those tires saved me from hitting a wall. I'll tell you that much.
These are H or V rated tires. The Pirelli P600 235 60 15, but they're
probably
also
like 140 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah, 300 and like 301 a tire. It's
Yeah, tires aren't cheap, that's for sure. When you get into performance or good tires. And my area, I don't bother with all seasons. To me, that's pretty much a joke. At least on my truck. I always go like mud and snow, and it turns out to work a lot better for me. A couple of years back, there was a H2 on my street, I think. Stuck buried. I couldn't get down the street. Everybody was stuck. I had to run over to my dad's and back my Chevy out. Snow popped into my back of my truck and was coming over my hood going down my street, and I drove right on out of here like nothing. That's a Chevy.
Well, if you're going to run it on that Monte Carlo for those, I would go with the Pirelli. I mean, yeah, you're going to spend $301 a tire, but you're going to, those Pirelli Performance are going to be able to handle the speeds. If you get that H or V rating, you're probably talking.
Is he putting this on a track or daily driver?
He's putting it on his Monte Carlo SS.
Right, but for like a track car or daily driver car? Because daily driver car, you might want to go cheaper because, every once in a while you're going to have that day where you just want to get on the gas and roast a little rubber here and there. And it's a lot better to not be burning off, $50 at a time. But, you're not trying to clock, you're not beating the clock or nothing. You're just having fun. So I wouldn't spend that money unless it was, I was planning on, doing something crazy.
Yep.
And you're talking over $1,200. And that's, not even mounted and balanced probably.
Yeah, but if with
buy
that
a hoopty for that, run it till the wheels fall off and walk away. No.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if he's got that motor built up, like he was saying, he's probably got $3,000 in just the motor. So putting $1,000 on a set of tires would be worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, he might just baby it and take it out to the park for the ladies to look at once in a while, and if that's his thing, then hey, You're gonna treat it like a show car, then why not?
Yeah, he says he wants to switch it over to 16-inch rim. If you're gonna do that, I would definitely probably check out Tire Rack. And because you can do a wheel and tire package shipped to your door, and then you may have to air them up, but they'll be mounted and balanced on the rims, right to your front door. Then all you have to do is just slap them on your rig.
And I just check your packaging. I don't know if they're going to come on a little pallet or if they're coming in boxes, but if you get done in boxes on a wheel set, I probably wouldn't accept them. 'Cause as you know, it doesn't take much for something to get out of whack. So they catch it with a forklift or it drops or something like that.
Like
Balance is probably out the window at that point.
when
Depending how it hits.
when I ordered my tires from Tire Rack, each tire had it within its own box, but it was on a pallet, and the UPS guy had to cut the strap and carry each box up.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't
probably-
think there's any issue, but always check. You know, once you accept delivery, it's a lot harder to send things back. So, at no expense to you. So,
yeah, my UPS driver wasn't happy. He had to carry it up like 20 stairs to get to my front door. So he had to make 4 trips.
yeah.
I told him, I said, well, you're lucky I couldn't get the rims, or otherwise it would have been rims and tires that you would have been carrying up.
Wait till I start ordering lead online.
Yeah, like I run the M&S tires, the mud and snow tire.
Yeah.
I don't go with all seasonal.
Yeah, me neither. It's just seen, I don't know where you're located, but where I'm at in the winters, it can get pretty bad. And some of the places I work, they don't even plow. Seasonal cabins, lakes, where everybody's got their house. They want to upgrade in by the time they get back to it and all this stuff. So you're lucky if you got working power half the time. So.
Where I used to live in Washington, they got a hell of a lot of snow, and so I learned my lesson running all seasonals. And when I had my Suburban, I had mud and snow tires on it, and
or just creeping through somebody's yard. They go drop a load of wood or something. Those all seasons, I've seen a lot of those just spin in wet grass and start tearing things off. And, you're there to make money, not spend it, so it's not a good deal.
Yep. So in your Chevy, what's your 4-wheel drive? You have a 471 crawl gear in that, or?
Sorry, I had you muted. I was washing my hands. I don't know. I got the 95. It's the 4LE60. So I'm not sure. I know it's got an electronic overdrive. That's about all I know about my tranny. So I don't know much about the transfer case besides what fluid it takes. It's manual. You gotta pull the lever.
Yeah. When I had my 95 Suburban, it was in my 4 low. I was running a nice rock crawler low gear, so, and it came with my rig. So you'd put that thing into 4 low and you'd start like creeping, going 4x4 in, and it would feel like it was just freaking like taking steps. It didn't feel like it was just rolling. You'd feel that A-frame suspension just kind of acting more like it was stepping. You could crawl anything.
Nice. Yeah, my truck does pretty much everything pretty well, but I try to keep it on road if I can, as much as I can, because the way I see it, if I'm out having some fun and rip a brake line or gas line out, I'm going to be the one stuck all night trying to get it fixed so it's ready for work in the morning. So I try to avoid abusing my, it's different. If I was going to do that, I'd go buy a $1,000 beater and pop the glass out of it, throw some roll bars in it, so I could slap a turbo on it and have some dang fun, man. But that way, if it wraps around a tree or I got it buried in a pit sideways, I don't care. I'll come back to work tomorrow, whatever. But I ain't doing that with my personal vehicle. Nothing I'm working with. Not my breadwinner. So
Calaveras wants tire suggestions for a 245, 75, 17.
I don't know. I think when it comes to tires are kind of like guns. It's, what do you plan on doing it? Where's your location? Or what do you plan on doing with it? What's your
Yeah,
location? Things like that. Do you use it for work, play, or is it just bring groceries home in a chair once in a while from the big box store?
well, he's in Cali, so he's in a lot of the concrete jungle, and it looks like he's looking for a
You
load.
might want some Kevlar tires then out there.
These Kumho aren't that bad. Looking 157 a tire.
You still looking at Tire Rack?
Yep, tire rack.
Do they have Westlakes by any chance? I'd say those I have personal experience with, and I love those tires, but I couldn't find them for a while. Apparently, they're, I think, a Chinese tire, and we had issues a while ago getting tires or something with the rubbers. So I don't know if they're back, but
Well, this
I'd
has
say
for that size. There's 10 pages of tires. So, you can get some for as low as
is he in a North California or South? You got
northern
weather. Okay.
He's in Northern California, is what he says. I tow a camp trailer during the summer. I go down fire service roads for deer and bear season. So,
my rule of thumb, I'm biased, but I don't buy anything unless it's 10 ply for a truck anymore. But that's because I'm tired of dealing with nails or slice sidewalls, do the shell down a dirt road or seasonal road or something. So I would recommend, maybe at least 6 ply, something like that. I don't know what these are offering here, just for durability reasons. If you ever got to drive hard or get out of Dodge, you don't want to worry about tires crapping out on you. But I know the compounds, it makes a big difference. I mean, if you're the kind of guy that likes those exit ramps and feeling the truck sway and the tires are about to break, and then you get that little smirk on yourself, then you're probably going to want a harder compound because you're going to wear them out quicker. So all depends how you drive too. And my lady drives my truck like it's a damn sports car. I'm always like, geez, like, come on, man. You know what's gonna happen if the brake line blows or something? Like, jeez.
So these are, I'm looking at Cooper Discovery HT3. They're $191 a tire. So yeah, you're looking for tread width at 7.8 inches.
What type of trailer is he pulling? Is there a lot of weight? And is he talking like a camper he takes out to sleep in and then loads up with everything? You know what I mean? So that might put a bit of weight on the end, which is another reason to have a better sidewall in a sense. But I'd just be cautious on your weight ratings too. You always want more than you're going to use, because if you have a hard impact, obviously you would rather make it through than have a busted belt or something.
Yep. So the max load is 3,195 pounds. So that's per tire.
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't say if that's better than average or what. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but it's something I'd be looking at as I compare them.
Oh yeah. And I'm not so much. Not so sure on General. Yokohama.
Yokohamas are good, but I don't know if I'd put those on my truck price wise.
EcoFocus Green X. Not so. Michelin Defenders. So yeah, but those are $230 a tire. Looking to see if it says what the specs are the same. About 30, almost 3,200 a tire. So then it
What
says
about the ply on those? Are they a thicker sidewall or?
it doesn't
I don't know
say.
if you saw that. Yeah. Well,
Looking to see. I think I saw something over on the original page that six. Oh, it said 6 in stock. I thought it said 6 ply.
yeah, any rougher roads or anything that's real aggressive, it's always better to have a stronger tire, in my opinion, for a regular vehicle. It doesn't take much, and it's always at the worst time that things tend to get you.
Yep. Always when you blow a tire on the side of a road.
Yeah,
Where it's nowhere.
Wake up in the morning and start your vehicle and tap the gas, and it snowed a little. It slides sideways, catches something on the driveway, and the next thing you know, you're sitting there with a blown tire. So it doesn't take a lot. It's always the stupid stuff that tends to get us all. I can't speak for everybody, but I can make it through my day working on roofs without a safety harness, all types of stuff some people would be scared about. And then I get home and slip, stepping on my steps and fall and bust my ass. So it's always the stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Or I sleep wrong and I'm, my neck's twisted up for like a week. It's like, geez, do all this other stuff, no problem. One little thing. And it seems to be the way life goes.
Oh, Mystic is rejoining and talking about maybe timing out the tactical pickle.
Oh, yeah? Is he getting crazy out there? Doesn't seem like him.
No, I think she's just going to attack,
Oh, she's just being an aggressive woman, huh?
Yep.
I guess Snob could do that to a lady.
So Calavera says trailer is a 64 Articat lowliner. My tow rating is 2,000 pounds. Trailer load is 1,850. I want a heavy of a weight rating as I can get. So yeah, if you're running an E-rated tire, that's about 3,200 pounds of tire. So you're talking 6,400 pounds an axle. Unless you're running dualies. So.
Yeah, it's hard to say for me. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head in that list, I'd be looking at plies and the weight rating and then price personally. So.
Oh yeah.
There's a point where I would rather pay more, but I don't want to pay too much either. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be pulling a trailer, yeah, definitely you want a 6-ply tire. It's a 2-door Jeep, so I would definitely probably go with at least probably like a. I mean, a
Yeah,
4-ply
I
would be
would say
pushing
6 or
it.
better. I would say
Oh,
it's 6 or better. Yeah, because especially if it's a Jeep, because when he's hitting dips or bumps, it's going to be pushing hard on that rear end, and Jeeps aren't
yeah.
very heavy. Um, like I said, but I'm a firm believer in having extra, room to play because God forbid, you pull off and turn into a minefield or something and you're bouncing all over the place. If you dropped
So
your phone or spilled your coffee, and then the next thing you know, you got 2 flats or something. Yeah, rather be safe than sorry.
Walter says that load range E is a 10-ply tire, so that would definitely, you know, then you
Yeah.
got to look at what what you're wanting to spend, roughly per tire. And I know that Tire Rack has places in California. They have actual shops in California. So
Well, I don't does buying tires online from California. They got some weird environmental fee you got to pay on top of it or something like that, or what? Like they want to regulate everything and charge everybody an arm and leg for anything out there.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure with what goes on in California. I know they have to pay admission tests every year on their vehicles.
Yeah, we have that in New York, which is a pain. People got to be careful when they're buying cars. Yeah, it's just a basic scam. Oh, it's been sitting, the battery's dead. Let me charge it. So all the code's clear and none of the monitors are reset. So when you take it on your test drive, everything looks gravy. Hand
See,
them the cash, you take it to the shop, and they're like, "Oh no, we can't inspect this. You got 6 codes." Da 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 da. So,
I
yeah.
I went and got me a code reader.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
I have the
got no
fixed.
business buying a car without one, in my opinion. But
I have the fixed that plugs in, and you can find out everything in you know a heartbeat on that. And that one, as long as they haven't started the car up and after resetting the codes, if they haven't started the car up and shut it off 200 times, you can still pull the code that's popped on there.
that's cool because I know a lot of them basically will reset, and then until the monitors actually have time to run their test and this and that, it comes up as clean, or it actually what is it, NA or whatever, it's non-responsive until they actually complete. And in my state, you got to have, what is it, I think 4 got to be complete. You have to have at least 4 complete, so you can skate by. Like if you got a bad O2 or something, if you can figure out your timing, you can pop the code, drive it for the amount of time, and then pop in and get an inspection and be out the door. Not that I'm saying people should do that, but it's done. So
Yeah, but with that, if you go on and you get the fixed app, and you get the little OBD2 reader that they have, is FIXD apostrophe D. It's like $75, I think, maybe a little less than that. And yeah, you can just plug it in, download the app to your phone, and Bluetooth connect. And then if say your rig was acting up, I could take the reader out of my car, slap it in yours, tell the vehicle what kind of vehicle it is, and scan your rig and find out what the code is, and then research the code.
I got a hypothetical here. What's to say you're not in an accident and liability comes up as an issue of debate, and the company finds out you had that, can they access your app and see if you're on the accelerator or the brake? I mean, could this turn around and bite you in the butt later?
I don't think so, because I mean, the thing is you don't have to leave the OBD2 reader plugged in at all times. So you could theoretically have it out of your vehicle, and then when your check engine light comes on, you could plug it right in, scan the code, and then fix your problem, reset your code, and then take it right back out of your vehicle. So you don't have to leave it in. It's not like
All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure because I figured once you linked up your app and whatnot, because you mentioned Bluetooth and stuff, I wasn't sure. And if it's a newer vehicle, that gave them an access into your vehicle. So like you said, if say your wife's driving the car and she calls and said there's an issue, you can pop up and say, yeah, get it to the shop or stop driving it. That the water pump shot or something. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. So if somebody else has that access to it, it just makes me wonder, how that could play out for other things, basically. So
yeah, no, this is all set up so that it's just like going to like Harbor Freight and getting one of their OBD2 readers, where you just plug it in, get the code, and then you can then go online and type in that code and what your vehicle is, and it'll tell you, hey, this is what generally causes that code to pop, and so you can fix your problem.
Okay. Yeah, I got one of the, I don't even know what brand it is, Armatron or something. I can't even think of what it is, but basically it's nothing to do with anything where you're hooking up Wi-Fi or anything. You just plug it into the port and run it from there. It works pretty well. It seems to be, the newer the cars, you have to fall back to computers in some situations. So, especially diagnosing when one thing will act up and make two other things look bad. A lot of times you park your car, it's fine, you turn it on, and you got 6-7 codes, and you're like, what the heck?
Yep.
So that process of elimination can get quite expensive if you don't just figure it out.
Like, I was having an issue with my Pathfinder, and so then it was popping other codes, telling me that I had a bad O2 sensor, and a couple other issues, but it was my distributor that was going bad. And so then it popped. I typed in the code online, and it said, hey, it's typically this part. So then I looked at, okay, well, where is this part located? And it's located in the distributor. So Christmas Eve, on the side of a road in a bank parking lot, I had to replace my distributor without a timing light. It was just basic tools.
Nice. So you have to, I didn't think a Pathfinder would still run it. I guess a distributor like that. I'm probably sounding ignorant, I guess, but
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, it's got to have something. Yeah, I had an issue, I know, in the Honda, but you adjust it all with the I'm brain farting out here, so I'll just stop. But basically, I had to replace parts within it as well, and but you adjust just by tilting up or down, so it's not like the older Chevys or something where you're dropping the shaft down in, and depending how you dropped it, which rotation as it turns and sits, you're advanced or retarded or whatever.
Yeah,
the whole old game of playing, marking things and trying to put it back the same way. So
Yep, I had to do mine where I was pulling the old distributor because it had the teeth, the gears that lined up down in your motor. So you had to make sure you get it all lined just right, so you're not too far advanced, you're not too far retarded. You don't end up 180 degrees out.
Yep.
Even if you're 180 degrees out, your vehicle will fire up, which is kind of weird. It will fire up. It will run like crap, but it will fire up.
It's cool when you get it just a little off, and like it's, you think you got it, you take it out, and you let off the gas, and it's backfiring and spitting. Kind of sounds cool, but you're not done at that point. But it'd be nice if you could, hit the button and have it do that.
Yeah. So what my code that was popping up was the cam sensor error. And so it's like you're going, okay, well, so I was trying to figure out, and then if it would have been like a 2002 Pathfinder, the cam sensor is like next to the firewall and buried under, so you got to pretty much tear the entire top of the motor apart to get to that. And so I'm like, oh crap, because that's what I was thinking I was going to have to do. And then I found a video, and the guy's like, oh no, it's in that year, it's in the distributor. So,
and I assume that's a dealer only part, so you probably paid close to $200 for it.
No, I was able to get it at AutoZone for the ripe old price of $375.
Yeah, I was surprised AutoZone had it, but yeah, that's something. A lot of times with those, I get told it's a dealer item half the time and anything like that. So, and that's where you start cringing, like, oh god, here we go. So,
yeah,
dang, that's a lot.
I got lucky that O'Reilly's and AutoZone both had them in stock. And, I think they were like within $5 of each other, but they were still pretty spendy, almost $400 for a new distributor. But at least that came with, the cap, rotor, and everything. So all you had to do was, take your distributor cap off.
The sensor, crank sensor. I thought that's
the crank sensor. Yeah, the crank sensor in that Pathfinder is actually inside the distributor.
Okay.
It's like one part. So you can't actually just replace it. You have to replace the entire distributor.
Okay. Yeah, they get you. And I got mine online, last one I got for the Honda, and I think I got it for like $45 or $60, warranty and everything. But at the auto store, it was a whole lot more. So,
yep.
Yeah, it blows. Same thing with the O2s. It blows my mind sometimes. I know some cars are pickier than others, some brands, but I have no problem with $14 O2 sensors on my Honda. That passes me every time with no problem. So,
in my Chevy Cavalier that I had, my O2 sensor was $8.
Nice. Online or at the store?
At the store.
Wow, that's crazy. Most of them I see, they want $65, $75 for it.
Yeah, no, in
a
store.
Lot of time you got 2 to 4, so depending what you're doing, it adds up.
Yeah, but then on like my Pathfinder, there's 6 O2 sensors, and they're like $112 a piece.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Yep.
Boy, I'd be bypassing those in a heartbeat. Oh, never mind.
We don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course not.
It's just like I would never advise anyone to cut the cat out of their vehicle and weld a straight pipe in there and then sell the cat for platinum value that's inside of it.
Yeah,
I would never.
yeah, some crazy world, you know. Yeah, some of this stuff I think is ridiculous. Like in New York State, my truck, I pull that in for inspection. Like there's no point even going to sit down in the waiting room. I roll up, you know, they're basically slapping a sticker on them right back out the door. You know, my car rolls in, and oh boy, it's going up the lift. They're looking for this, they're checking for that, they're running all the computers. You know, it just gets ridiculous. You got a cracked tail light. Oh, we got to rip your sticker off, and you know, the car is unsafe to drive. So we're going to hold your car hostage for a new tail light at $340 some odd dollars and another God knows how much to put it on. And you can have your car back tomorrow. And that's when I'm like, get the hell out of my way. And I'm driving my car off the ramp. So, call the cops. I ain't going to be here. That's a whole nother story. And then I go online and get that tail light for like $40 sent to my door. So, but yeah, we don't do that around here either. That was all hypothetical.
Or you go to the wrecking yard and you pick one up for like $8.
They actually want quite a bit up there. I can pretty much get a new one online for the price of what I can get a used one for. They charge you by square inch around here. And it's not cheap.
Anymore, it seems like the wrecking yards almost anywhere want to charge you like $3 or $4 under what it costs to go get a brand new one.
Yep, with a lot of cases. Not everything, but some things, yeah, they get a little crazy about. Especially like, you know, if you do any auto shopping online, you can get quite a discount. You can get like a new one warranted for sometimes $5 more than a used part, depending what it is.
Yep.
But granted, you know, if you're looking at like a Napa alternator at the junkyard for $5 less, you're probably better taking that Napa alternator than you are grabbing some cheap reman. Sad to say in some cases, but some older parts are, in my opinion, well worth it. I mean, if you look at appliances, you know, older refrigerators, things like these things used to last 30 years, you know. Shoot, I've seen refrigerators with brown tack paper still on them, you know, working fine. And you buy a new one, you're lucky to get 10 years out of something. Or a washer, it's a freaking joke the way they make things nowadays. It costs more and lasts half as long. Like they don't pay us twice as much. So, I don't know.
It costs more, lasts less, and it's built to be replaced, not to be worked on. If you want to fix it,
everything's a throwaway.
It costs you more to fix it than it does to actually just go buy a new one.
Yeah. It's like the TVs or anything else nowadays. I mean, everything's just tossed in the trash. So, I mean, everybody wants to be all up and about pollution and stuff. Well, why don't we start making quality items again and we don't have to replace them every 3 years? I think that would solve probably, a lot of the problems. Yep. I don't mind paying more for something that's going to last me a lifetime.
Yeah, or even, you buy something and, like old VCRs where you could just take a rubber O-ring and fix like half your problems that you ever had. You could just go get a 2-cent O-ring and fix half your problems.
Yeah, pop it off, cover off, clean your head with a piece of alcohol and a cloth, and you're good to go. Like you can do your own maintenance, or even some of the older TVs. There was a company out there that guaranteed their TVs for life. All that stuff is a thing of the past, unfortunately.
Yep.
Even tools. I mean, if you look at some of the hand tools, I snapped a Craftsman breaker bar a few years back. Went to get the new one. It's like a newer model. It's thinner. Yeah, they claim it's a harder metal, and I snapped that one too. I mean, I'm not a giant. I'm pretty badass, but I'm not no Vin Diesel. So
I don't know how many.
That was supposed to be a joke. But. It's all right. You don't have to laugh.
I don't know how many ratchets I have like snapped, and I get them to break weird. Like a lot of people will blow out like the teeth in the back, so where you're switching your directions and stuff.
Hmm.
I actually seem to always snap the connector. So like where you're connecting your socket, whatever.
Yep.
I snap those clean off, and the friggin' teeth are still good. You can hear it ratchet just fine. It's just you can't put
Wow.
any socket or anything on there. I've probably
Yeah,
done
I've,
that.
I've always worn the gear parts out usually on ratchets. Been the only thing I've snapped the front of, I think, are breaker bars like that, where the front snapped or the actual bar snapped on one, which was shocking.
I bought a electric impact wrench from Harbor Freight because I had to replace my trailing arms because the bushings in there had gone bad,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I was trying to break a bolt free.
Could just replace the bushings. A lot of those, they sell a press, but I usually just pound them out with a 5 pound, smaller hammer, but it's a heavy one.
Yeah,
Normally, I pound them out right on the vehicle and pop it back in. Obviously, you just got to mark your directions, all that, how far it was recessed and everything, and
well,
lock the end of the trailing arm where it ties into the body. Those little brackets are usually thin and crappy, so be careful how much you twist around, or you're gonna have to replace those too.
the trailing arm, the actual metal bracket. So I found it on A1 Auto online.
Oh, I shop with them.
The
Great place for the headlights.
whole arm and bushings installed and everything was cheaper to buy the set because I have upper and lower rear trailing arms. So to buy all four of them, it cost me like $110 to get the bushings that I needed to, because I would have had to buy 8 bushings, and it was going to cost me $210 to get the bushings.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just, replace them, drop out the old, slap in the new. It's, 2 bolts a piece. So you're talking like eight bolts to replace all this. No problem, right? 7 of
So
the
you got
bolts.
those trailing arm bolts that seized up and didn't want to come free, and hopefully
Yep.
you got new bolts when you got your new trailing arm.
Nope.
If you didn't, I bet you ended up going back to the store.
Yep. Well, 7 of them came out.
And don't use the crap at Lowe's. I've seen people do that because the auto store is closed, and they'll grab bolts from Lowe's or something that is not the right. It's not hard. It's not the right metals. And I've seen those bolts like twisted to the point where I had to replace them later because they were about to snap off. So don't be cheap with your bolts. Just order them along with your set. So.
Well, they didn't come with, that wasn't an option.
I'm sure they have them there for sale.
Oh, yeah,
but,
maybe if I didn't look for it. But 7 of the bolts came out just fine. And I was trying to get that last one out, and I hit it with 240 pounds, of torque, trying to break that bolt free. I smoked the motor in my impact wrench. So
that sucks.
They warranted it, and said, "Hey, go grab a new one."
That's cool. Yeah, I've had issues with my air impact or whatever, which I've got a cheaper Husky one, but it works well. It's a slower RPM. It's not a Mac or Snap-on, but it works well for what I do. I've had times with that where I got my presser jacked to the point where I'm worried about my hoses blowing, and it still hits a brick wall. So I'll have to put a breaker bar and then I throw a cheater bar on top of it. Once you get it to crack, I can slow my impact on and it'll just knock it right off. But some of those, it seems like those bolts have been there since the car came off the line sometimes. So,
well, mine had been in there, but like all the other ones came out real easy. It was just a ratchet and a cheater bar, and they all popped free. until I got to that one, snapped my ratchet. So I'm like, crap. So I went and I got a breaker bar, tried breaking it with that. Then I had to get a cheater bar to go onto the breaker bar. Still couldn't do it. And everything.
At that point, I would have been cutting the heads off the bolt, saying the hell with it, spending 40 cents on a aggressive wheel or whatever you call it there, zipping those bolts off and throwing away the center with it or whatever. It doesn't matter because your new parts can come with bushing and all that, but
yep,
because those bolts are junk. So
I hit it with. I hit it with.
Depends what you want to do.
I hit it with a torch, trying to heat it up and break it free. Nothing was happening. I ended up having to cut it out and replace the bolt.
No. Yeah, I've seen people, spend I don't know how much money trying to drill the bolts out and all types of stuff. I'm just thinking, like, that's crazy. Yeah, they're burning up drill bits and laying down there for just cut the dang thing. Like, be done with it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's just easier just to zip it, So
I took my Dremel to it. I took my Dremel to it, cut the
sway bar links, the same thing.
Yep, cut the bolt, cut the nut on there. It came off. Took a hammer, just hammered that bolt out. It was toast. Replaced the bolt. I think it was like $1 to replace the bolt and nut.
Yeah, sometimes it's the easiest way. Yeah. While we get stubborn or didn't think about it, didn't buy the extra parts or whatever, and kick ourselves in the butt later. So some things it's just better, don't cheap out, buy the whole thing. So if you got one bad ball joint, just change them both. There's no point in chasing parts 6 months for parts from yourselves, tie rods, things like that. Like, that's just crazy when people buy a tie rod. I mean, that just blows my mind. Like, if you're gonna be that cheap, you probably shouldn't even have a damn vehicle.
You see Mr. Walter's comment? It's on the screen.
Diesel is gay. Yeah, he is. That's what I heard too. I also heard he's got a hell of a beer belly and stuff going on too. So he's probably a bad example. Sorry, what is it? MG. Sorry, Mystic. Well, that's I think my lady found that out. She was like, "Oh, what a waste!" And I was like, "What?" Like, wait a minute, what?
You'd have a better chance. You'd have a better chance at him than she would.
Yeah, right. Like, woman, don't make me piss you off.
Oh
boy.
$20 is $20.
Yeah, right. No. I might do some funny stuff, but nothing that kind of funny. No. That's funny. Yeah, I had a friend say that one time. I don't know how bad you want this to go, but late night at partying, and he went home and stopped somewhere at a bathroom and got approached by somebody offering him $20, and basically what he said was, $20 is $20, and nobody could believe it, and he kind of lost a bunch of credibility. And then he ticked off this girl that everybody knew, and then she done spilled his dirt out at a party, and he left with his tail between his legs that night. It was pretty sad.
Yep.
So don't mess with a woman if she's got dirt on you. I can tell you that. So it ain't worth $20.
Yeah. No, I don't care how hard up I am. I sure the hell that there's other things you can do to make $20 than to go.
It don't matter if you're pitching or receiving. It's still playing baseball. Pitching or batting. So it's pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah, people will amaze you. People you hang out with, you think you know.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to cut out. I got to big bowl of salad sitting here staring at me looking all beautiful with cucumbers and cheese and carrots. We got everything in this thing. Some
Yep.
Texas toast all grilled up, big old plate of pasta. So unless you guys want to hear me slurping away, I'm going to get off here. But I'll, if you're still going or something, I may pop back in. But
I'm
I
probably
don't
gonna
want to be too
I'm probably
rude
gonna shut
here.
this down here pretty quick. So if you want to go ahead and give your ending plug,
Man, I don't really have any plugs. Yeah. If anybody's interested in a Target stand or something like that, I just did a first DIY video that sucks real bad. If you can live through it, you might have an idea of, saving yourself some money in a Target stand. Besides that, if you don't know, I'm the cheap one. So my channel's about saving money and getting by, basically. So if you don't know, now you know.
Yep. Well, thanks for jumping on, Rob.
All right. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Leaving the door open for me to sneak in. Equal opportunist here. He'll even loud me from New York. That's saying something.
I allow people that hate Glocks to be on the G23 show.
Yeah. Well, nah, I don't hate them.
I know. But, yep, thanks again for showing up, and we're going to call this an evening.
All right. You guys take care out there. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for showing up. I think Mystic's little man is going to be doing a show here pretty soon, like the old Hens chat. So give Snobby a check out, I guess. So enjoy the rest of your evening or night if you're over on the East Coast, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.